What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my current KOZMO deck that I've been using. Yeah, I know it's been a long time. I've been a bit busy with stuff, so yeah, I just felt like making a video today. And I feel like I should just make videos when I feel like it, because then I can make them, I think the videos are going to be better if I want to make them rather than if I'm like, oh, I should just make a video just for the sake of, putting on YouTube. But yeah, I just felt like making a deck profile of my KOZMO deck, so yeah, let's get into it. I recently went to the Huddersfield regionals. Yeah, and it didn't go too well because I didn't play Yu-Gi-Oh for quite a while, and I just picked up the KOZMO deck which I had, and it wasn't really complete or anything, and I went 2-6, so I won 2 and then I lost 4, but then I dropped out because I was like, there's no point, and I was hungry. Anyway, I've got this deck idea from the person who won the regionals in, I believe it was Tulsa. He went 8-0 surprisingly, and that was pretty cool. And I was pretty amazed that he used the KOZMO deck to go 8-0. So yeah, he made a deck profile, and I just took. It's not exactly the same. It's just a bit different. So yeah, that's like my version of his deck. So yeah, let's get into it. So firstly, we have 2 Dark Eclipses and 1 Dark Destroyer. This is mainly because I've been thinking this for a while now, that just having 2 3k beaters is not as good as obviously having 3, because having Dark Planet with that much attack, it's pretty hard to summon him. So it'd just be better to use more of Dark Eclipse and then Dark Destroyer, because you can just, they're easier to summon than Dark Planet, and it's just, banishing and special summoning, and you got a 3k ship. Plus, I've been using Dark Eclipse too, and it's actually really good in the sense that quite a few trap cards, for example Imperial Order, that are pretty good against KOZMOs, because they can't eat heli or use KOZMO Town, or I can't Dark Hole or Ageki them. Eat heli, different things that you can't do, and Allure of Darkness, so slows down the deck. But if you got Dark Eclipse on the field, you can just negate it, and it's really easy. Plus we're playing the tin can version, so we're going to be sending cards to the graveyard anyway, so it works pretty well with that, and just 3000 attack in general is really good. Then we play, and Dark Destroyer, I don't need to mention him, he's just amazing, hence why he's at 1. Then we have 2 Foreigners. I just think that some decks that go in the long run, it is good to have Foreigner, just for the life points, but also it's nice to have 2.8k beaters as well as not being able, not being targeted as well. And yeah, that's pretty much why I used 2. I was using 1, but I just felt like 1 was not enough, because then after 2.8k you've got a Slip Rider at 2.3k, and that's not enough attack. So I just thought it'd be better to use 2 Foreigners instead of 1. That's why we have 2 of him. Then we have 2 KOZMO Dogfighters. It's actually a really good card, where you can, if you want to stall the game, you can just summon it in defense position, and every standby phase you can special summon a token. And yeah, I just think it's a good card in general. Plus, you'll see why we use Dogfighter later on in the video. 3 Slip Riders always, because I'm not going to be using any Twin Twisters. I just think it's not that necessary in today's format, because there's better cards that you could be using in place of Twin Twisters, and you should only use Twin Twister against a deck that is heavy on spells and traps. For example, True Dracos, which when I verse True Dracos I side in 3 Twin Twisters. That just wrecks them, because if you're destroying, for example, if you go second, which I prefer to do, and you just start off with Twin Twister if you get it, or second turn and you just pop their diagram and any other spell or trap, and if you don't have any set spells or trap yourself, because you're going to be aiming for the spell cards, they can't pop any of yours, and it's pretty much just a waste of their card. So it's really good in that. But for this, this is really good for just popping spells or traps in general. Also popping Call of the Haunted, and going off from there mid combo, or popping your own KOZMO Town and getting a card that you need from that. So it's just all around a really good card to have. Still using the 1 Dark Lady, because well, I think the guy who came first, he was using 2, but just 2 Dark Ladies, I've tried it and it's just never worked for me, because again, it's a Psychic level 5, so if it's destroyed and you don't have any other card in your hand, then you can't banish the special summon and it goes to your graveyard. But even then, I don't feel like it. Well, from experience, I just feel like monster effects are used, but there's so many monster effects that can be used that one Dark Lady negating it while it's on the field doesn't make that big of a difference to the duel, and they can just do other combos. So I mainly use Dark Lady for the OTK rather than negating effects. But if the negating effect does come in handy, then I use it. But I don't think it's good enough to be using two Dark Ladies. Yeah, that's it for pretty much the over level 4 monsters. Then I use two Wicked Witches. I just think they're a really good card in general. Just stalling the game because it's just pay 1,000 life points. Can't be destroyed battle card effect, so it's really good against decks that don't actually have a way of destroying, like say they can't kaiju it or Monarch Stormforth or banish it, then it's pretty much just on the field and there's nothing they can do about it. Plus, it's 1,900 attack, so that's not a bad attack to OTK with. You can get Strawman and then Farm Girl and then Wicked Witch and then Dark Lady and then Dark Destroyer or Slip Rider, so it's a really good OTK. And you can also overlay for like extra deck monsters that can be useful. For example, Gaga Cowboy, just to finish them off with the 800 life points. Or there's quite a few other cards that you can use. And I just think it's better than Good Witch because rather than flipping face down and then Good Witch dying with a different monster, you can just keep this on the field, and if they have 3 monsters, they can't destroy this in general. So it's pretty much, they can't do anything, so it's good for stalling. 2 Farm Girls, not 3 because I think you can break with 3, and 1 there's the very low chance of you getting it. So I think 2 is a really good number. Obviously we're going to be OTKing, so that's what we're going for, yeah. 2 Sword Troopers because we are playing the Tin Can version, and if we can be sending quite a few psychics to the graveyard if we have Sword Trooper. I just think the combos are amazing, and I think Sword Trooper is like underrated because if you choose 3 psychics with Tin Can and you already have this in your hand, or you draw into it, then you've got 1 psychic that you chose in your hand, 2 in the graveyard, and Sword Trooper can just be summoned. Farm Girl's in the graveyard and they've got nothing there. You can attack them, but you can also special summon Farm Girl first, and Farm Girl has its effects and everything. That's why I think Strawman can special summon and they have their effects negated in the banished area, but this is from the graveyard and they have their effects and everything, and it can be used to get Dark Lady as well. So I just think it's a really good card in general. That's why I use 2 of that. Plus we're going for the Dark Monsters for Allure of Darkness targets, so that's pretty good for that. 2 Strawmans. Again, I just love Strawman. The combos you can do with Strawman, absolutely amazing. Just the fact that you just pay 500 life points and special summon one of your banished Cosmos, and in the end you can do the combo of banishing it, special summoning whatever other card you want. I usually like going for Forerunner and then destroying and banishing it to get Slip Ride and pop one of their spells or traps, which is always fun. And last of the monsters is 3 Tin Cans. Again, we're playing Tin Can Turbo, so we gotta play 3 Tin Cans. It's just such a good card. Choosing 3 cards from your deck, adding it to your hand, adding 1 of them to your hand and 2 to the graveyard, and then if you draw Call of the Haunted as well, you can just banish them to special summon. So that's it for the monsters. I don't know how many monsters that was, sorry. Spells, we have 3 Cosmo Town. I don't think I need to say why. Everyone knows that you should be using 2 Cosmo Towns anyway. 2 Allure of Darkness. Yeah, I don't use 3. I think personally when 8-0 did use 3. But I just feel like from quite a few duels that I've played, if you draw Allure of Darkness and no Dark Monster, it can be a very bad card in your hand. And I want to do 2 of the 3 Allure of Darknesses and no Dark Monsters. And I had in the next few turns I just had 3 Light Monsters in my hand. So that was just frustrating, so I just decided to take 1 out because those situations are really not good. So I think 2 is a really good number because the ratio of Dark Monsters to 2 Allure of Darkness, you've got a very high chance of drawing Allure of Darkness with a Dark Monster in your hand. Then I use 1 Raigeki and 1 Dark Hole. Yeah, so this new ban list did annoy me because I loved using 2 Dark Holes and 1 Raigeki. But now Dark Hole's to 1, so I'm just using 1 Dark Hole and 1 Raigeki. I was thinking of playing Kaiju Cosmos and using Slumber, but Slumber has also been put to 1, I believe. I think, I'm not sure, but I just don't think Kaiju Cosmos are good in today's meta. They're not as... I used to use them, but they're not as quick as they should be. And once you run out of Kaijus, then, For example, if you run out of kaijus and you draw Slumber, then you can't really go anywhere from there, which I've experienced quite a few times. So I just think pure Cosmos are quick in general. We have 2 Desires. Yeah, I never actually thought about Desires using it, because I always thought that banishing 10 cards is like quite costly and it won't be worth it in the end. But from personal experience, Desires is actually really good, because those 2 cards that you draw can pretty much win you the game, and it doesn't matter about the 10 cards that are banished, so that's why I just use 2. 3 is a bit too much, because, you know, that's going to be 30 cards in the end, and yeah, that's not... that's actually pretty bad, because if you're drawing it after you've already activated 2, then it's, you know, it's just a waste of a card, so 2 is a good amount. Then there's 1 Itelli, doesn't need any explanation, I'm pretty sure. And 1 Reasoning, again, you just, you know, you go from level 1 to level 9 in this deck, so that's pretty much why you use Reasoning. It's just an easy special summon. Plus, even if they do get it right, it's going to your graveyard, and you can just call the Haunted Day back if you want. Well, then again, that's got pretty low chances as well. That's it for the spells. Get this out of the way. Next, for the traps, we use 2 KOZMO. I can't believe I didn't know this, but it is actually once per turn, which, I mean, I've always used it once per turn, as my opponent stops me, but I never really knew that it was once per turn, so that's why I just used 2. Plus, you don't really need to use more than 2, if you get what I'm saying, because you just want to destroy one monster. Like, 2 KOZMO is a good amount in my opinion. 3 is too much, you know. If you've got a Psychic, then you don't want to be destroying that. If you've got a big ship and... wait, what am I trying to say here? With 3 KOZMO, I think it wouldn't be as good, because I think you could brick, because if you're drawing KOZMO and you've not got the monsters to use KOZMO on, it's just a waste of a card. And with 1, you're not going to draw it as much. So again, 2 is one of those numbers that you've got enough to like pop a monster, but if you draw it and you've not got a monster, then it's not too bad. Then drawing another one, and then, you know, you pretty much got 2 KOZMO and no monsters. So that's why I like to keep it at 2. Plus, I think if you use 3, that third card KOZMO that you would use, you can use better cards in instead of that. So that's why I just choose to use 2 KOZMO. 3 Call of the Haunted. Again, we're playing Tin Can Turbo, so we have to use 3 Call of the Haunted. The new trap card, Back to the Front, is a good card to use, but in my opinion, Call of the Haunted is just good. Is better in general, because firstly, Back to the Front special summons in defense position, I believe, and you can activate Call of the Haunted mid combo if your opponent doesn't expect it, and you can, you know, continue attacking with that. Plus, I think the combo of popping Call of the Haunted and then special summoning another monster is really good. So if you got Dark Destroyer, he can destroy itself to summon Slip Ride, and if you got another special summon monsters, you pop Call of the Haunted if you've already attacked with it, and then, you know, go off again. So it's really good in that sense. And then these are the main cards of the deck that make it really good. Got Eradicate Epidemic Virus, Full Force Virus, and Deck Devastation Virus. They're just really good cards in general. I understand why this card is to 1. You just tribute 1 Dark Monster with 2,500 or more attack, which is basically Dark Eclipser, which you got 2 of, and Dark Destroyer. And you say spells or traps, and you check your opponents that they have to destroy all of them. Full Force Virus is 2,000 or more defense you tribute, which is why we've got Dogfire and can use the tokens as well as Dark Eclipser. And then you can check your opponent's hand and cards they draw until the 3rd turn, and destroy all monsters with 1,500 less defense. And then Deck Devastation is 2,000 or more attack, and then you destroy 1,500 less attack. So it's like I use 2 because you never know if a deck could have cards with 1,500 less attack or 1,500 less defense, so I just use 1 of each. And in the side deck, we do have another Deck Devastation in case the opponent is using cards that are mostly 1,500 less attack. So we're going to use 2 Deck Devastation instead of 1 Full Force Virus and Deck Devastation. And yeah, that's it for the main deck. These 3 cards actually are like no joke. It makes the deck really, really good. So yeah, that's it for the main deck. For the side deck, oh wait, I'll do extra deck first actually. We have the same old extra deck. It's just 1 Infinity, 1 Nova. I have chose to add a Big Eye because we do have 2 Foreigners, and just being able to target when your opponent wants to take control of it is like really good. I've used it quite a few times and it actually makes it all pretty fun. And the fact that it doesn't get sent back, I think is really good. So that's why I like to use Big Eye. Still have one Pleiades and one Ptolemy M7. Pleiades, in my opinion, has just always been a really good card. Then it's basically a compulsory during any player's turn twice instead of just once. But it's once per turn, but you can use it twice with 2 materials. So I think it's really good in that. Volcasaurus, I think it's really good for ending games as well. Next turn, because you're gonna make them lose quite a few life points. Artifact Durandal, just, if you got a bad hand, then just use this to shuffle cards in. Utopia and Utopia the Lightning. Well, that's actually good against KOZMOs, but you can use it against your opponent as well. 5,000 attack can always be a game winner. Silent Anorak and Castel are good for, targeting those monsters if they can't be destroyed and attack. Wait, what is it? I think it's just shuffling into the deck or someone you want to go. Yeah, attached to this card. So it's good in the sense that cards that can't be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can just shuffle them into the deck or attach it to Silent Anorak. So it's really good. Abyss Dweller, I've heard, is really good against the format. I don't think I've ever summoned Abyss Dweller, if I'm 100% honest. I've just been told to keep it just in case, the right time comes and you do have it, so you can use it. Gaga Cowboy, like I said, 800 life points. The amount of time that's been used against me, actually unbelievable, so it's really good for that. One Break Sword. It's actually really useful because I've used it quite a few times where, for example, yesterday I was dueling and my Foreigner was what is it called? Not Floodgate Trap. I think it's Floodgate Trap Hole, where you flip it face down permanently and just use Break Sword to pop their monster and my Foreigner, and then I could go off again. Summoning monsters and attacking, so I thought it was really good for that, and just in general destroying your opponent's monster and that card and being able to do so many things. And then one Pleiades, Hyades, which is basically detach an X-Value material and change all monsters your opponent goes to face up defense position. If your opponent's got a monster and you realize that it's got pretty low defense, then you can just summon this guy. If Soul Trooper and Farm Girl can't get over it, and then destroy it because it's got low defense. And yeah, it can come pretty handy in desperate situations. That's it for the extra deck. You don't really use the extra deck, but it's good to have one just in case. For the side deck, I like to use 2 Dark Planets. I don't know, me personally, I really like Dark Planet, so I just like to keep it in the side deck in case I am playing a deck that's heavy in using spells, so I can just sub that in. One Good Witch. It's really good for situations, like certain situations where if you want to flip a monster face down and it's going to, stop the opponent's plays by like a lot, then Good Witch is good to use in that situation. Or if your opponent's got an effect that activates if you're going to attack them, or anything, if you activate spell or trap cards, then you can just flip it face down and then attack it. Plus, like Hyades, if it's got low defense, you can summon this, put it defense position, and then attack it. One Maxi. I don't use it in the main deck because, well, people do say it's really good, but what I've experienced is usually when I activate Maxi, the opponent chooses to not take it on, and then it just turns out to be a waste of a card, so I just leave it. One Honest for the light monsters like Strawman or Farm Girl. Just really good in general, and I think you can use it for Foreigner and other cards as well that are higher, and Slip Rider, and it'll just do more damage just in general, so that's why Honest I think is a good card. One Radiant, just a Kaiju. I just think that if there are some cards that you duel in the first game and you know that you can't destroy them that easily, just sub in side in Radiant, and when you draw you can just Kaiju that card and then finish doing what you need to do. And you can also ram it with Foreigner, so it's good for that. That's it for the monsters. Then we have 3 Twin Twisters. I use these for True Dracos and True Kings because, well, they're not that big of a deck now, but you can use like True Dracos with different engines. For example, I've seen True Draco and Cliff Orts and True Dracos and some other card type, but the True Dracos can still be used, and using Twin Twister to destroy. Oh wait, that's it. Invoke True Dracos. Using this to destroy the field spell or Dragonic Diagram and just the back row is just really well, and it just stops them from doing any of their long combos. So it's really good for that. One limited removal. This won me both of my games in the Huddersfield Regionals, which was pretty funny. This was just a last minute thing that I decided to put in. And people don't realize how good of a card it is. I made a video of this before, and just because most of your big ships, all of your big ships are machines, and just doubling their attack, making Slip Rider 4,600 and 4 and a 5,600 is just really good in general. That's why I like to use limited removal. The third Allure of Darkness, which I side. If you feel like Allure of Darkness is working really well for you, you've got quite a few Dark Monsters, and you can just choose to sub in another Allure of Darkness. That's just what that's there for. That's it for the spells. We have one anti-spell fragrance. I just choose to decide this just in case is a deck that's really heavy on spells. I'll just sub in one anti-spell fragrance. It could, win me the game if they have to set their spells and activate them next turn. That goes for, I'm pretty sure, field spells as well. So it's really good for that. A second Deck Devastation Virus, which if Full Force is not working for you, you can sub in another Deck Devastation. Or if they're not heavy on spells or traps, you can take out Epidemic and then put in Deck Devastation for 2 Deck Devastation and then 1 Full Force Virus. And lastly, 1 Strike and 1 Warning. I find that these cards are pretty slow sometimes, or if you just have them set, your opponent can pop them. But they are really good for certain situations. For example, if you Solemn Warning monster, like the first monster they summon, they've lost their normal summon, and if they were gonna go off with their combo with that one monster, you've destroyed and they can't do anything, which I've done a few times, but I don't think it's necessary in the main deck because you're already using so many good cards that your deck is already quick enough, and traps can slow it down. And Strike as well, negating maybe one monster effect doesn't fully stop the opponent in my opinion, and I've just realized that Strike face down can just be destroyed. So I just choose to side it, but if I see that they're using quite a few monster effects and normal summoning monsters that if they were destroyed it would stop their plays, then I would just side these in and take out the cards. Reasoning can be taken out. Reasoning is usually my first target. It's not a must card, but it's a really good card, so I can just side Reasoning out for a Strike or a Warning. And that's it for the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed. It's not fully my deck. I did get the idea from, I think his name's Asian Persuasion, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I just like the idea of using the viruses to do lots of different combos and annoy the opponent, look at their hand, know what they're going to do next. It's actually a really good way of knowing that as well, because you're looking at your opponent's hands and set cards. But yeah, thank you for watching. You can go watch Agent Persuasion's video. I think it's on Team Samurai X1's channel. Again, I think I was really happy because people say Cosmos are dead, but if they can still win regionals, then I think they're really good, and this deck has proven to be really good. But thank you for watching. If you think there's something I can improve in the deck, just leave it in the comments below. But other than that, like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.